What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me. We are today going to be talking about the Batgirl, I guess, movie, if you will. I don't even know if they're doing a theatrical release. They did that for Blue Beetle, but I don't know about Batgirl yet. Remains to be seen. It will have Michael Keaton in it, and Leslie Grace will be the headliner. And it will also have J.K. Simmons. So you'll have two heavy hitters that are joining a currently, I guess, a TV show, much like Mandalorian or I guess what else is streaming, Witcher, things like that. So it'll be sort of, I guess, on par with that. Maybe the production is going to be the same. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. I wanted to weigh in. A lot of things have happened. A lot of things have been revealed. They're filming right now in Glasgow, and so a lot of behind the scene pictures have sort of come into play, and it's interesting. I am very, I guess, ambiguous about this. I don't know how to feel about this, how to think about this. Usually, I don't let my feelings cloud my judgment. But I do have a panel in the back, and I'll bring them out in just a bit. But I wanted to thank all of my patrons. Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot to me that you put your money where your mouth is. Everybody who also joins my Teespring or TeePublic store and just has a look at that and see what kind of stuff I have, like this shirt here or whatever. It's all very much appreciated, and I value everybody so much that invests in me. So that's one of the reasons why I invest back into the community and try to put things out on Twitter. And my whole thing is I do make fun of a lot of things, I do make light of a lot of things, but I also try to inform as I go. And so without further ado, let me bring in one of my panelists here. This is Allie. What's going on, Allie? How you doing?
Hi, Ryan. Long time no see.
I know, right? You're wearing your Wonder Woman shirt, which is appropriate because Wonder Woman still exists in this universe. So you chose somebody who's made it through the fire.
Yeah.
How have you been? It's been a hot minute since I've talked to you.
Yeah, I've been okay. Been pretty busy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good, good.
Let me get your initial thoughts as everything has been unraveling in January.
Yeah.
Where your head was last year and where your head is currently, as far as your hype, your expectations, and just your overall interest in the property now.
Are you talking about
Just Batgirl only.
Batgirl in
Yeah.
general?
In general, yeah. Bar Gordon.
I don't know if I've ever really been super like hyped up for the movie in general. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna watch it, see what they have to offer. I've never watched the show.
Okay.
So
you're talking about the Adam West show?
No.
The Batgirl and Adam West?
No, the the CW.
Oh, was it? No, that's Batwoman.
Batwoman, my bad. Okay.
It's a different character altogether.
Okay, Batwoman, my bad. See, I've never watched it. I don't even know.
I haven't watched it either. I didn't hear anything good, so I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have the best. As far as the Batgirl movie, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like not feeling exactly like one way or the other about it. I do think it's kind of weird that we're going to see J.K. Simmons Gordon, but Michael Keaton's Batman. I don't know. I guess
it's sort of a mix and match.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could just be because we know the Flash is opening up these universes and kind of combining them, but I don't know. I don't really understand. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know if there's enough about the movie that's been out there to kind of make like a one way or the other judgment about it.
Okay. Are you with the things that you've seen on Twitter and I guess that's the only place you can see it. Are you getting more excited? Are you like interested? Like, wow, I'm really interested in what I'm seeing, or are you just like, okay?
Not necessarily. Not as of yet. I mean, I know that mural came out, or that picture of the mural came out.
It did, and we can definitely talk about that. That was very interesting. I did put that on my thumbnail. It's in the background. Yeah. It does have Batman and Robin, and yes, whatever set designer checked out for the day. They were just like, "Yo, I got 3 images I found, and I'm just gonna put that on there and we'll print it." I'm sure that it's not going to get a lot of screen time, if any. Like you're probably barely going to
It's
see
like
it.
an Easter egg.
It's
Yeah.
like an Easter egg, kind of like the Wonder Woman picture on the side of that bus.
Right.
Like I don't know that it's going to be like, oh wow, look at that. It might just be in the background,
In
like
passing.
really small,
Yeah.
And you might not really catch it. You know, a lot of people might have to point that out.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that might be one of the reasons why they didn't put a lot of focus on like, yo, it has to be like original art or something like that. I would think because you work, you know, because DC works for Warner Brothers, that they would at least have an artist like sketch something out, you know, during production, be like, boom, here you go. Here's a Batman and Robin. And this is sort of what we envision our Robin to look like. But they're just like, nah, let's just do vanilla Robin and whatever Batman, you know, it's just like whatever. What did you think of the Batman and Robin image? Aside from the laziness, what did you think of just the having it there in the city?
Just that it's going to just
that it's going to exist. Like would you wouldn't normally see something like that. Like I don't want to, you know, say just because it's in BVS, like you wouldn't see that when Clark goes to visit Gotham. He wouldn't pass by something like that.
Yeah, see, that's interesting because and hello to the guys, to people saying hi in the chat. What's up to you guys?
No, I just jumped right into the topic. I was like, let's go. Sorry guys. Love you all for coming. Yes, I'm going to bring this up. Go ahead and go. I'm going to bring these comments up.
I do the same thing when I stream.
What's
yes, so I do think that what's kind of interesting, like sort of weird about that is that Batman is kind of like this myth in Gotham. Like he's supposed to be like, okay, he's in the shadows and, you know, only criminals really know. It's because like, does he exist or doesn't he? Like kind of
is he a vigilante or a superhero?
Yeah, he's kind of just like
that's the difference I'm getting. Is like in Zack Snyder's, he's a vigilante. You know, he is trusted by Gordon, but he's still like feared, right?
Yeah, he's feared, and like, you know, people are even Cyborg in Justice League is like, you know, I heard about you, but I didn't think you were real. So he's kind of like,
what's that?
You know, people are like, does this guy really exist, or is it kind of just like, you know, people say, you know what I mean? It's kind of like he's. Oh, thanks, Nicotina.
Yeah, he's trying to get on, but I won't let him. So I'm just joking.
So I think that's kind of the strange thing about it is that, yeah, like you said, I wouldn't picture that. I couldn't picture seeing something like that in Zack Snyder's Justice League or BVS or that universe, because he's kind of like this feared, just like phantom of, you know what I mean? It's not. I don't know. If that makes sense,
exactly. But I feel so ignored. Right, with the Robin that they put on there, of course he has the yellow cape, and like who's gonna fear that, right? Like you know, that's why I liked the 90s rendition. Yeah, it was the 90s rendition of Robin when they reimagined him and had it black on the outside, yellow on the inside, and I would even have it a muted yellow. I never got with, and even in Zach's rendition, I never got with the boy shorts. I was like, give him pants like they gave Chris O'Donnell. Give him pants. You know, Alfred is the one that's in charge of that. You know, he's in charge of the suits. I'm sure he wouldn't send this spry young lad running around, even though we know that he's acrobatic and things like that. He wouldn't leave him vulnerable to to anything like that. So I'm just
Nightwing is acrobatic too, and he doesn't have shorts.
And he's fully decked out from neck to toe.
And he doesn't have, and Robin has never had like Batman has a cowl, so he has like protection. Robin just has a, you know,
he's protecting his identity only, and that's the only thing. That's the only like what I want to say, not forgiveness, but like, you know, what do they call it when it's like disillusion of when disbelief, like you know, I can give a little bit of disbelief, you know, in that, like, that's where he's the acrobat and he can look around and he doesn't have to worry about you know, a helmet or, you know, anything like that, like really, you know, slowing him down, you know, so that he can see the different positions when he's flipping and doing whatever he needs to do.
That's true.
But yeah, so yes, he did get noticed. But yeah, so yeah, that's where I see it. I see a stark difference in that Warner Brothers' new iteration bringing Keaton back is looking at Batman as more of a hero versus a vigilante. And really, I think that takes away from Batman as a character, because if you look at Batman as a hero, I'm sorry, but he can't stand next to a lot of the superheroes because he's powerless. He's just a rich guy that is well disciplined. He can fight hand-to-hand combat, but if you put him up against these super beings, yeah, if he has time, he can take measures to protect himself or whatever. But if not, I mean, he's a mortal guy just like anybody else. And I think the argument who could win over Batman and Superman, I always go Superman, not because Superman is my favorite character, but because there's no real way for Batman to take on other beings other than Superman. Like Superman could, I mean, other than kryptonite and magic, it's like you've got nothing else. So if he has no access to kryptonite or has no access to magic or anything like that, I mean, he could only his wits can only take him so far in a hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
So and especially he has to rely on Cal to hold back, and because of Cal's goodness, he will hold back. But if he didn't, if he was fighting Zod killed him.
Yeah.
So sorry, it's just Zod would kill him. But yeah, so I hate the chat. No, I don't hate the chat. Guys, I just forgot about you. And that was Walter Hamada. Just in case anybody heard that, that was Walter Hamada. Flushing down our dreams. Yes, that was it. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's funny. Yeah, thank you, Boycott ZEEVERFETT. Excuse me. So I am losing my voice a little bit, so I'm trying to get through this. But this topic just kind of really had me, I don't want to say riled up, but excited, because I'm like, wow, we've seen all these things and whatever. It's like, how do I feel about that? Has anybody else, come out and really had a good, well-balanced conversation about it? And that's really, I'm not here to just hate on it, but I'm also not here to just love on it because it's DC. I'm a DC fan. You're a DC fan. I like Zack Snyder's stuff, but I like things beyond Zack. And if Zack is not coming back, then okay, I'm still going to watch his other stuff. But I'm still going to watch this other stuff too. I'm going to go to the theater. I'm going to watch The Flash. I'm going to watch The Batman. I'm going to watch Black Adam. I'm going to watch Shazam and all that because I'm a fan of the property. And I'd like to see, hopefully, these people, doing my characters justice. Okay, so next question for you is Christina Hodson. So right now, Christina is the architect for the DCEU going forward. This is going to be her third property. She did Birds of Prey. She did The Flash, and then now the Batgirl. So we haven't seen these other two, but we have seen Transformers and whatnot. And she did everything beyond what was really cool, which was all CG on Cybertron. That wasn't her. That was clearly the director. She was, she wrote the story. I know that as you keep, same thing with me. I'm an artist. As I continue to draw, I'm going to get better, right? So as she continues to write, hopefully she gets better. But what do you think about Christina going forward being that main? Do you think they should go to like different writers, or do you think they should be consistent with her?
I guess, I don't know. I guess that's kind of a hard thing to answer. I guess it depends on how people take to it. I don't know. I mean, Birds of Prey,
yeah,
that's
Phoenix Jones,
not the greatest movie. There's a lot.
Became a villain.
Like, I really wish they could have. I really wish they would have done a Harley and Joker movie instead of Birds of Prey. I think that would have been much more interesting.
They were afraid because of Leto's response. The response to Leto by mainstream audience people. They were like, "Yeah, we got to shelve that." Even though Leto is a great actor, and he
Right.
embodied it. It's what I liked was you have two different interpretations of Leto. You have
Mm-hmm.
Zach's, and you also have David
David
Ayer.
Ayer. Mm-hmm.
And I'm cool with like seeing another person, their interpretation of his character. Kind
Yeah.
of keep things similar or the same or whatever as far as like thematically. But he's an actor, and he's an actor in a story. Let him be the
Yeah.
best Joker for that particular story.
Right.
And the same thing with Harley Quinn. Let her be the best Harley Quinn for that story, and she can be a different Harley Quinn for the Birds of Prey stuff, or a different Harley Quinn for more Suicide Squad stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, going forward, do you think that they should continue? Hey, Christina, we want you to write Nightwing. We want you to write, whatever else is coming out, Green Arrow, Black Canary, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think that they should just continue to bring her and make her, sort of the main voice of this new, I don't want to say timeline or universe, or
Mm-hmm.
do you think they should be more diverse and have different writers come in and give different interpretations of
Yeah.
said material?
I guess I could see kind of both sides. Like if what she does is really turns out to, resonate with a lot of people and has, positive results, then I could see why they would continue with her. And on the other hand, it's not a bad thing to have more than one interpretation or more than one perspective or more than
Yeah.
one, you know what I mean? To have more minds come together to create. So I could see both sides of it, having, continuing with one person or having other people come in to see what they would do with.
Yeah. And
Set,
that's one
X,
that's one
Y,
reason
Z.
why I didn't understand the whole thing when Chris McQuarrie was brought in. I believe that's his name, the director of Mission Impossible, when he and Henry went in and sat down
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, yo, I'd like to do this
Superman.
story or whatever with this version of Superman." That way, you have Zach's interpretation and you've got Chris's interpretation of the same actor, but with different situations and stories and whatever, and they can both exist. Just like when you go to the comic store, you have Man of Steel, you have Man of Tomorrow, you have just Superman, the Adventures of Superman. You have the same character, but different interpretations of the same character, and that's perfectly fine. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Superman, in a getup, and then also Superman in a shirt and jeans, and doing something, with no cape, and doing something else or similar or whatever. That would be cool. That would be interesting. But to me, I think that they limit themselves, and it's kind of weird. Like when they were talking to Zach about the Green Lantern, like, no, we've got plans for this person. I'm like, no, I want to see that one, and I want to see that John Stewart, and I want to see that John Stewart. Give me 5 different John Stewarts, and let me just ingest all these different characters. Same thing with Cal. Like, okay, and which kind of brings me to this thing I released today, which is kind of fun for me. But I was like, yo, here it is. You got 2 characters that they're trying to bring in that are supposed to replace the one, like the main character. Like Superman is a huge property and a huge character and a huge weight to him.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing is they're saying, okay, we're going to replace him, not make an addition to. We're going to replace him with a male, and also with a Supergirl, which people are familiar with, but maybe not this version. And so they did the same thing with Batman. They were like, okay, we have Ben. We have to replace Ben. What do we need to replace Ben? Well, we've got Pattinson over here. So if you want an agile Batman, you can go watch him. Or if you want the old
nostalgic
man, nostalgic, and it was very safe to go back. If Keaton had said no, like, no, I'm good, I'm going to stick with Marvel, I don't know what Warner Brothers would have done.
That's a good point.
You've got Batgirl and old Batman, and they're there to replace or to fill that void that they created. And so, what are your thoughts on just? I guess since we're talking about Batgirl, let's just talk about this one here. You're replacing Batman with old Batman and Batgirl.
I don't get it. Like, okay, I guess the recent comments from Ben Affleck kind of make it seem like Flash is the last time we're going to see his Batman. because of
for
everything.
now. And so what
Yeah.
and
So
I don't want to say the whole, no one's ever really gone, but
yeah.
yeah, but I mean, he's sort of like saying, okay, I'm going to, kind of put this here. So if it is my last take on the character, then I've said
he's happy with
I'm happy with what I just did, and if that's the end of it, then I'm cool. But if you have more, then I'm cool too. But I don't think he would ever do anything with Warner Brothers without Zach.
Yeah, see, that's
that
what
version of Batman.
right. That's what that was my take on it too. Was all these interviews that he's been doing and all these statements he's been making about Batman. I do feel like it would have to be ideal, like the right circumstances, kind of like with Zach coming back too. It would have to be ideal circumstances. Like, I'm not going through the BS again.
Yeah.
We know that Justice League was the reason he decided not to do the Batman movie. He's made that. I mean, I think we all knew that before, but he wasn't really making it very clear in the past,
Sure.
and now
he started off that he was going to come and die. His character was going to die.
Yeah.
And that was a known thing. It was like, okay, that and that wasn't the thing that, Zach was talking about, like people are going to riot in the streets, kill Batman. Okay. But it was actually going to be that, Lois was going to be pregnant by Bruce and all that, and people were going to lose their minds. And I think they changed that. I think they changed the direction that was going. But the thing is with Ben, I see that, okay, Warner was like, okay, now that we've got Joss on this, we want you to do a Batman. We don't want to kill Batman. We want to milk Batman, right? And so they wanted to do that sort of, what they're trying to do with Michael Keaton. They want to have the connective tissue like you saw in Suicide Squad. He just kind of pops in, pops out. He's just sort of like, he's not in a full movie, but he's just kind of there. And they were like, yo, we'd like for you to come. We'd like for you to make a film. And so they sort of had that talk, and he wrote a script, and I knew it was going to be either Matt or Casey Affleck. I was like, one of them was the one that said, hey, yo, you're going to, drive yourself to drinking and you're probably going to kill yourself or whatever, not because of the Batman character, but because of the people that he had to deal with.
It was the circumstances. Yeah, exactly. If that hadn't happened, I think that it would have moved, like he would have been fine moving forward with, because when he signed on for, to play Batman, he knew what Zach's plan was, and he knew what the plan was as far as him directing. I mean, he was going to do everything for the Batman movie. He was filling so many shoes for that movie. So, I don't think any of us really bought it when he was like, I just couldn't figure out what to do. And
his whole, I couldn't crack the story, which was BS, because people were saying it was such a great story. You had Jay Olivia saying it. You had, you had a lot of people that were in support of it, and I think it would have been a good movie, and I think it would have been very compelling, and I think that maybe they cherry-picked some of his story plot points and gave it to Matt. And Matt was like, well, since you're not going to use that, I'll use that, and, we'll do that going forward. So that's kind of that was my thoughts on what had happened with that, because you stop his production and start a brand new production roughly in the same month.
It wasn't, it didn't take them... like with The Flash, it took forever for them to finally actually get started with all of the comings and goings of directors. It took forever. So with that movie, didn't really, it's gotten pushed back because of COVID and all those other things, but they were pretty, like, they're not going to shelve a Batman movie.
Yeah.
So obviously they're going to figure out a way. Yeah. They're obviously going to figure out a way to, okay, new actor, new director.
Yeah.
I do think that probably was the case. It's to some extent, and I think it's going to be a great movie.
I think it's a great movie. I'm just not excited for it.
It's hard. It's bittersweet because it's not Ben. It's not his Batman.
Well, also for me, I've seen Batman movies.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm not really Batman fatigued, but I'm just like, I'm more excited for Black Adam. Never seen Black Adam on the big screen before.
It is. It's nice to have movies we never seen.
It's nice because for the longest time it was Batman, Superman, and then we got Green Lantern, and that didn't really work out well. But I'm glad that they tried a different character. Right. I was like, thank you so much. It sucks, but it try again, and they haven't. I don't know when they will because I'm a big Green Lantern fan. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
I did like that they broke the mold with that movie a little bit. It would
yeah,
have
and
been
that's
greater, if it was a better story. But
yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking too when you asked about bringing these other characters to replace. I think it's fine and a good thing to bring in like Batgirl, Supergirl, a different version of Superman. But the problem is that they're trying to replace
right. That's the
Superman and
point. That's the
Batman.
point is that they're
That's the
not
problem.
making an addition to because I have no
Yes,
problems with these characters. I
that's
have
the
no
thing.
problems with Val Zod or Calvin Ellis
Yep.
or with Kara Zor-El or whatever she's going to be.
Yeah.
I have no problems with it. I have no problems with
No.
Barbara Gordon. And I have no. I mean, I had more problem with Alicia Silverstone's Barbara Pennyworth
Yeah.
than I did. I think that was her last name, but she was like, the niece of, Michael Gough's Alfred Pennyworth.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was like, what? I was like, that was ridiculous. And then what Christopher Nolan did with Robin was ridiculous. I was like,
Oh,
no.
the cop. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, yeah, oh, you should go by your name, or your birth name, Robin. And I'm like, what? It's not his name. That's his. I mean, hell, Batman went by Robin for a minute. I was like, what? That's stupid. So no, it was just sort of shoehorned in, and I thought that was so dumb. It was just like, and Nolan was always like, I'm not going to put a Robin, I'm not going to put a Robin in, and then when he did, it was stupid. So I was like, okay, never mind. On to the next Batman movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Ben is the only Batman who has not had his own movie.
Yeah.
He's just kind of appeared in different films. And
I mean, I guess BVS is kind of considered more of a Batman movie than a Superman movie. Like he obviously kind of dominated that movie, but he hasn't had a solo film,
yeah.
so it's kind of
Well, he
sucks.
dominated because of his presence. I mean, this version of Batman was like very dark and interesting. And there was a lot of mystery to him, which made people like really, kind of dive into it a little bit. Like, wow, what has this Batman been through? And
he
that's
was
sort
so
of
much more seasoned,
Mhm.
and he was older, more experienced, which I think people had a big problem with. Like, oh, he's older and blah blah blah. Well, he doesn't have to be 25 in every movie or 30 in every movie.
Sure.
You
But then
know,
you go back to, Old Man Batman.
that's what I'm saying.
And
I don't
now you got
understand now
70-year-old
people.
Batman.
Yes.
And they're like, no, that's not too old, guys. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the most ridiculous argument. It's like people make points, and then when those points get destroyed, by something else, then they have nothing to stand on because they didn't really have any principles to start with. They just wanted to argue.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do not agree with that.
I mean, like you said, I don't know what Warner Brothers would have done had Michael Keaton not
if he had said
agreed
no,
to it.
they couldn't go to Val Kilmer. George Clooney would have said, "Get the hell out of here." Christian Bale would have been like, "I'm not going to be back for the Batman. I'm done with that franchise." So.
Yeah, so I don't.
You don't like falafel?
So I don't know. I mean, I think they just were like, we don't know what else to do, so we're going to go back to our safe zone.
What would you have said? And this is sort of going around as well by some people. Is like, what would you have said about recasting Ben? If Ben, if he doesn't want to do it because that's his decision, what would you have done to keep that version of Batman? Like, who would you see behind the cowl?
Oh gosh, I haven't thought of. That's a hard question. I don't know if I've thought about that, to be honest.
Because I don't mind that Ben is like, I'm through, guys. I'm fine with that. I'm like, okay,
and
you do you, boo.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. But does that mean that version, that iteration of Batman now has to go away? He can't, no one else can put this costume on like this stunt double did?
I don't know. That is pretty difficult. Because I think it's gonna be, for those of us who like don't want to see him leave the role, it would be hard to.
This sort of goes in not exactly like for like, but Edward Norton versus what's his face, Mark Ruffalo taking over the Hulk. Same Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same cinematic universe. A different actor came and took his spot
It's
because, you know,
true.
of creative differences or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's the
It's hard.
role. The role has to be larger than the actor,
Yeah.
and I say that as well for like the oh god, what's the guy that played T'Challa for
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther,
Yeah.
um,
Chadwick Boseman.
Brosnan, yes, Chadwick and Boseman, and so I agree that, like, you know, it's sad, you know, and it's great that he, you know, he was in the animated film and all that, lent his voice, but
Mm-hmm.
the Black Panther role has to be bigger than Chadwick. You know, somebody else can come in and give us stories, you know, live action stories, and it's fine that it's not him. It's a different actor giving a different interpretation of the same character. You
Yeah.
know, there is nobody who dies with whatever role that they play. You know, there's always somebody else that can come in and fill the shoes, because these people come in to do a part. They are actors. They embody, you know, the character that they're portraying. And if they're
Mm-hmm.
good at it, you'll forget about all that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think like for
What's that
Black
thing about?
Panther, I could
Who's on the
see
thumbnail?
for Black Panther, I could see why just out of like,
Where is it?
you know,
There she is. Alicia Silverstone.
no, I think they're talking about the other person.
Oh, Leslie Grace.
Oh, that is her.
It is
I
her,
didn't even
yeah.
I didn't recognize her in that picture.
Yeah, that's her. I was like, hey, cheers.
I could see why with
So,
Black Panther with Chadwick, why Marvel would be like,
here,
well,
thank you.
because he passed away,
Well, I mean,
and
same thing with Heath Ledger. Heath
that's
Ledger
yeah,
passed away,
I
and
know, but
the role of the
they
Joker's
didn't,
bigger than him.
but it wasn't supposed to be the same Joker.
Oh no, I mean, I would say if you recast Black Panther, I mean, God, I
I
mean,
do
okay,
see
that's the
why they
only
would
problem
be,
with MCU is that they have put themselves into this connective universe crap,
yeah,
to where they can't just have different stories of that character,
yeah.
which in that they put themselves in that box, you know,
I
and they have to
mentioned
ride
that
that out.
on, yeah, I think I mentioned that on because I've felt the same way about it. I think I was on the vodka stream
Mm,
and I mentioned that like Marvel has done obviously a great job at creating this huge universe.
mm.
What they do works for them, and I mean, yeah, they're good at what they do, but I do think that there are like limitations
Mhm.
on what they can do because of everything has
Right.
to connect and
If it
everything has
didn't
to be like,
connect, it would be a lot
yeah,
easier, right?
yeah, it's
And
kind of
that's
like,
where I thought with
well, what about, well,
DC,
this movie has to connect to this one and the
mhm,
events in this movie, well,
yeah,
where does this fit into the
you have to
timeline
watch
and
this one
where
in
was
order,
this
and
person?
that's where
Yeah,
Warner Brothers is trying to get back to. They're like, they said this whole BS on their fandom thing about, like, oh yeah, there's, you know, nothing has to connect to anything, because they were in this position where it wasn't going to connect, nothing was going to be
yeah,
cohesive, you know, and they were like, yeah, you know, just make your own head canon, we don't care anymore.
yeah,
And then they're like, oh no, yeah, no, we can totally make it connect again, you know,
yeah,
people are
with our
dumb.
TV shows and blah blah
Yeah,
blah, we want everything to connect. It's like I don't think that's always necessary. Like it
yeah.
kind of, and that's another thing. Like with Marvel movies, none of them really have. I think maybe besides Black Panther and Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi, I think those ones stand out as far as like having an aesthetic, I guess you would say. Like they none of like all the Marvel movies kind of are like they look the same. They don't have
Oh, they're
much of
cookie
like
cutter. They're very cookie cutter.
yes,
Yes. I
exactly.
mean, what they say is
So
we have a formula,
yes,
and we are going to do this. All we're going to do is change the hero, the villain, the heroine, or, you know, the person in distress,
yeah,
and the city, and the powers, and that's it.
yeah,
Everything else is the same.
yeah,
And it kind of gets, it's very, they did the same thing with DC, you know, mark my words, they didn't, you know, change that shit. But with the
hmm,
CW, you had Team Arrow, you had Team Flash, you had Team
yeah,
Supergirl, you had
hmm,
Team who gives a fuck. I mean, you had all these stupid teams. It's like, what is this,
yeah,
a support crew or whatever? Everybody's like talking about their
yeah,
problems and feelings. I was like, that's not a superhero.
yeah,
Superhero is out there, you know, in the world doing their thing, and they're not supposed to share their pain or their their identity or whatever with anybody. They're supposed to internalize that, and how do they process that? And that's but with these TV shows, it's just like, no, Dare to Defy. We'd have this stupid ensemble cast, and everybody has to have a power, and it just gets it's like that one line in Incredibles, when everybody's special, no one is.
Yeah.
So,
but see, even with Marvel, I feel like
Marvel films, yes, they all have a car chase scene.
I mean, I like Marvel movies. Don't get me. I know some people say, "Oh, you're hating on Marvel." No, and I think Shang-Chi was one of my favorite movies this year. I really like that one. Well, I guess probably because it was a character we hadn't seen yet. Yeah. Culturally it was different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really new. It was nice seeing a different culture being recognized and part of the world and all of that. Things about his movie and his character were different. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But as far as like even stylistically, a lot of Marvel movies, I mean, like the director doesn't they don't put a stamp on their movie. Like, this is my
right
style.
What they do is Kevin says, I want you to make this movie. Mm-hmm. And do you want to have this exposure or not?
Yeah.
Do you want to have this? The only time that they actually sort of like went away from that was way in the beginning with like the Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
There's a few that stand out.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
And so people do adhere. They do gravitate to that one because it's a different feel. It feels different from the rest. Like, one of these things is not like the other. And so that one, that's why you do have positive feedback for that one, because it resonates with people. People can connect to it on a different level than all the other stupid movies that are like, they're all fun, but it's like they're geared to children, like the mindset, because they're taking the Star Wars mentality of, we're going to gear this to children because we want, pajamas. We want toys, video games, all that. Right. We want to market all that. We can do that. And with like Zach's movies, he was trying to make them a little bit more adult or mature. Mm-hmm. And so that doesn't resonate with the children as much.
Well, my son loves Henry Cavill's Superman. I mean, he asks to watch Man of Steel all the time. He loves, I mean...
Yeah, The Incredibles.
He loves Superman. He loves Ben Affleck's Batman. He loves Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, I mean, he also loves Marvel. Yeah, and Spider-Man and all those characters, Iron Man. But I've never understood the whole. Zack's Superman is not inspiring, and he's dull, and he's boring, and he's dark, and like he's depressed or whatever. Yeah. So, I know I kind of got off topic, but as far as
hey, we're good. We're good. I mean, I already put this up there. Heck yeah.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, going back to what I was saying is I don't understand that, DC, yes, they decided to have this a universe where things are connected and things like that. But Zack Snyder, if they would have just went ahead with Zack Snyder's Justice League, he, several times in that movie, you hear the multiverse being mentioned or other worlds and all these things. So they could have, that's what they could have used as like, okay, we can open this up. And then Flash was supposed to be Flashpoint. So it's like they were on that track to open up that there are, yes, we have this connected, universe where these movies do, the events in these couple of movies, they connect. Yeah. But, these characters can have their individual movies as well. And you don't have to wonder, well, where was Wonder Woman in that movie when that happened? And where was... Superman, when this happened, why wasn't he there? Where does this fall in the timeline? Sure. You don't always have to, because that way they can kind of do their own thing with that movie. Yes, you want it to feel like, okay, I want this to be like, okay, this Aquaman shouldn't feel completely different from the Aquaman. You want it to feel like the same character. Yeah. But the events in the movies don't always have to be dependent on each other. Curious. And they could have still opened a multiverse.
Oh, yeah.
After Zack Snyder's Justice League and been like, see, they're talking about the multiverse. They're talking about hundreds of thousands of worlds. Right. There's other versions of these characters on other worlds. They can all coexist and have their own movies. But no, instead, they're like, no, we're going to push out Superman and bring in Superman.
What we're going to do is we're going to conflate the timeline, and then we're going to streamline the timeline back. And this is going to be the one timeline going forward. And it's just going to be cherry picking what they want to use. and that's why you have this now with Batman and the
So,
Flash.
yeah, and I think they just use multiverse to their advantage. Like they only
Yeah.
use it to say like, oh well, we're bringing Michael Keaton because of the multiverse. Oh well,
Yeah.
we're bringing Val Zod because of the multiverse. They want to use that to explain why they're bringing Michael Keaton, Batman, or whatever, instead of just saying, well, they're all gonna exist.
Yeah.
And
like I wouldn't have minded, had again, I don't mind recasting Ben if he's like, hey, I don't want to do anything more with Warner Brothers, because I wouldn't have wanted to lose that version of Batman that could have been cool, and it would have been interesting as well. Like, hey Ben, maybe you don't want to play Batman, but maybe you can sell us your script, let us use that if it's so great and whatever, right? From the people that read it, they said it was phenomenal or whatever, but just letting it die just kind of sucks. It'd be cool if they if he was able to, I mean, just like you have that comic book right now, right? This Superman 78 and Batman 89. Why not have Batman 2016, 2017 or whatever, right? Where you have that story in comic book form, because I think that those things really resonate with folks. And that way at least the story could be told, right? Hashtag Project Justice League. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like they had a chance to open things up and just let it expand on its own, like a flower and blossom. And then they were like, no, let's close that up.
Yeah, and then
put a cap on that.
They're so focused on like catching up to Marvel, they don't even realize. Now we have this. Now look what Spider-Man did.
Yeah.
They could have been ahead of having a multiverse if they would have just allowed that to happen after Zack Snyder's Justice League, kind of, putting it out there that the multiverse exists here.
Mm-hmm.
They could have been ahead of that if they're so worried about doing what Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
Look how long it took for that to happen with Marvel.
Well, right. They don't.
DC could have done that a long time ago.
They wanted to skip all that and just jump to the money. They were like, yo, the money and the money and the money. And the money. And so, I mean, then
it backfired on them.
It backfired. And so what they're having to do now with the Flash and now the Batgirl movie is they're having to try to figure it out. And the fans, and this is one of my frustrations, is we as fans are like trying to figure out what are you guys doing? Yeah. What can we expect? And should I be excited for this? I've seen Birds of Prey. I wasn't impressed with Birds of Prey. You're giving me 2 more movies written by the same person that didn't give me a good story, and yet you want me to be excited for this. And now you're changing Batman, and you're making him older than Commissioner Gordon, and Michael Keaton is supposed to be in the Batgirl show.
Yeah.
And so that's weird. And so one of the questions that was posed by one of my friends today, we kind of got into a discussion, a couple of friends, is this here. Let me share the screen with you. They're like, that's why I put Alicia Silverstone in it. Where? Chrome tab. Is this it? I think, this is it. There it is. It's weird now. Anyway, so the connective tissue is these 2 guys for the Batman franchise from the 80s and 90s. So you had Pat Hingle, who was the Commissioner Gordon, and Michael Goff, who was Alfred Pennyworth. They were there from Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. And they played those roles like it was the same version of Batman. And so
just a different actor.
Yeah, it's just a different actor. So what you're doing is you've got Chris O'Donnell, who was Robin, aka Nightwing, and you've got Alicia Silverstone, who was Batman, or who was Batgirl, but she was the niece, I guess, of Alfred. So I mean, are they because we're not going from what I've seen, everything that I've seen here, we are not going back into the Burtonverse.
Right.
It's just what they're doing is they're pulling Keaton, they're pulling his Batmobile, his Bat Cave,
his suit,
his suit, and they're saying, okay, we're moving these things into this new timeline, new universe, and we're going to have a different Barbara Gordon that where it's like Grandpa Batman is training, young 30 some odd, Barbara
Batgirl.
Gordon, and then instead of, I don't know, it just and then also you've got 65-year-old, J.K. Simmons Gordon now, who's not Keaton's Gordon. Is he going to recognize him? Like, yo, you're Gordon?
That's what I don't understand. Like, that's what I'm not getting.
Yeah.
Maybe after the Flash, and then it moves into, I don't know. They're gonna have to reconcile that somehow, because they can't just be like, oh well, yeah, we like J.K. Simmons Gordon, so we're still gonna use him.
Yeah.
But it's a different Batman.
It's a different
universe.
like
it doesn't make any
is
sense.
Michael Keaton gonna act different? No. He's going to act the way he did in 89 and 92. He's going to be the same exact Batman.
It's his Batman. Yeah. So I don't get that. It's just like, okay, in Spider-Man.
Yeah. And so is she going to end up?
Dr. Ock recognized, he realized, this is not my Peter Parker
this is not my Peter Parker.
Yes. That's how you would expect it to be in Batgirl. Yeah.
But instead, it is very confusing. And you're going to get stuff like this here. You're going to have, the Batcave, the Batmobile that everybody knows and is familiar with, which is my favorite Batmobile. I like Zack Snyder's Batmobile as well. It's my second favorite, but this one just has this aesthetic. That's like, wow, this is really otherworldly. This is why I love this one more than Pattinson's, because Pattinson's is just a muscle car that happens to be owned by Batman. And so that's just sort of how I see that. But yeah, I mean, you've got, it's funny. So is she going to be, she going to have her own new costume, or is she going to be wearing this costume here that Alicia Silverstone is wearing? Because that's what Batgirl in that universe wears. Or are we going to see this and she's going to model it off of this? Or, I mean, is this going to connect at all? Is this going to make any sense to any fan? Like what's going on here? Now there's another, let me take that away. There's another thing that I wanted to share, and it's from this account here, this Twitter account, which I'm sure that you're familiar with it. Let me pull it up real quick. But they have a lot of stuff. Here it is. Let me put that down and let me.
And the thing is, with Spider-Man just coming out, I mean, because they're bringing characters in from other universes, they're trying to catch up with Marvel, do whatever, but they don't even like when the Flash comes out. I'm sure I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm done with this movie, blah blah blah, I'm not going to support it, this and that. Most of us we're going to watch it because we want to see the Flash movie.
Yeah. And this is another thing.
There's going to be this thing. Well, Spider-Man did it better. This is how you do, bringing in multiverses and bringing in other. That's what's going to happen.
It's everything you always compare it.
Had DC just did the Flashpoint movie like they were going to, that wouldn't have even been what would
everyone would have loved to have seen the Thomas Wayne Batman.
Yes.
So I mean, and for me, I understand, comic book purists or whatever, but I never ever going to ever understand the Martha Wayne Joker. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. It just seems like who do we make the Joker? Martha, and it made no sense to me. I loved the Batman. I think that Thomas becoming a different type of Batman is awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just think that his wife would have become like a Robin or a Batwoman or whatever, or like the Alfred of that situation. She would have, or Oracle, something like that. Just something like another type of like hero or whatever. Or if she did, go insane or whatever, she wouldn't become the Joker. She'd become something else. Like Harley Quinn didn't become Harley Quinn. She became Yo-Yo. you know, a completely different character. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I just that doesn't make any sense that there still has to be a Joker. Just didn't make any sense. The
Yeah, I can
Batman
see that.
because still being there because they have bats, you know, and Batman's kind of an easy name to come up with, especially in the 1930s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never understood that portion. But Droga52 brings up a good point, is that they are going to blast the Danny Elfman music all over this thing.
I wouldn't be
Especially in the
surprised.
Flash. I think the Batgirl's going to have her own theme, but I think it's going to be very close to something like, you know, I mean, kind of like closest to like the Danny Elfman theme from the movies and the theme from the Batman the animated movie. You know, just they're different but very similar. Or
Mhm.
Batman the animated series, which had there was a lady composer, but she had help from Danny Elfman because
Mhm.
they were making something, you know, that, you know, they were trying to make it sort of spin off from the
Yeah.
excuse me, from the movies. But yeah, so this Twitter account here, a lot of people. I mean, this is very positive stuff. Have you ever seen Batgirl news or Batgirl film news?
I think I follow them.
Oh,
I
okay,
think.
great. Yeah, I
Yeah.
follow them as well. Some of this stuff is stuff I don't care about, but some of the stuff is unique and it's cool. And some people think that they know who's running this, and it's kind of funny. But they're like this here. What do you think about her look? Just the flat hair, GCPD, because I guess she's a cop because I think she's officer. Barbara
Oh,
Gordon in
really?
here.
Okay.
Yeah, they showed a photograph, and I'll probably scroll down if it's, you know, not too far, but they show a photograph of, like, you know, her status at the
Okay.
GCPD. So she's definitely an employee. I forget her ranking. If anybody
Mhm.
knows, go ahead and put that in. What's up, Darkstar? I'm doing great, except for my voice. Rel says, Ali is so right. When the Flash comes out, there will be MCU trashing multiple Batmans because No Way Home did it first. Warner Brothers has done this to themselves again. Again, you have to put again. You know, they always shoot themselves in the foot. You
Yeah.
know, they always kind of let the cat out of the bag and let the other team kind of fill those shoes.
Just like with
And
BVS and
yeah.
Civil War.
Oh yeah.
You know, Civil War wasn't even going to be Civil War.
It was
Supposed
going
to
to
be
follow
Serpent, whatever.
yeah, it was going to follow the what do you call them? The octopus guys. What do you call the Hydra? It was going to be
Yeah.
more Hydra
It's
stuff.
like, and then they're like, oh
Yeah.
wait, DC's doing BVS, so whatever. And then BVS
Yeah.
had to change their release date and all that
And
stuff.
even their Civil War was very underwhelming. They had like 6
Oh my
people on
god.
each
I
side.
think I think it's like the most overrated Marvel movie, in my opinion.
I agree.
I left the theater utterly confused as to why they were fighting. Not story-wise. Story-wise,
Well, they were hoping Spider-Man would get people like you to forget about all that.
And Black Panther. The best part about that movie was Black Panther's introduction.
Yes. That was cool.
Yes. Story-wise, I completely understood what they were fighting about, but it's like, okay, you guys really gonna kill each other? You guys actually fighting in an airport parking lot? Like,
What's up?
I just thought it was so overrated. I know people will freak out about that, some people, but I think it's gonna be the same thing that happens with No Way Home and The Flash, because The Flash could have came out so long ago and wouldn't have had this problem.
Yeah.
And could have been a unique thing for superhero movies, but no.
Yeah.
And in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you get a taste of the Flash reversing time, and
yeah, you
doing
get a
those
taste of
amazing
him
things that
trying
you
different
want to
things
see.
that you've never seen before.
Yes.
And that scene is phenomenal.
Yes, and I don't think anything in any Flash movie could ever compare to that. But
well, the thing that sucks about
you
the
get
Flash
a
movie
taste
is that
of
it's
what
not
he
going to be a
can
Flash
do.
movie.
See, that's what I mean. Bringing in
You're
all
not
these
going to
other.
get. I don't think you're going to see any of the Rogues. You might see it might be a cameo of the Rogue, anybody in the Rogue.
Yeah, and if it's not actually going to have a villain,
yeah,
like that's a problem. I think.
I think the villain is going to be Barry himself,
right?
Screwing with time and trying to fix it. His whole thing is about it's kind of like a Doc Marty McFly, situation where he's trying to fix what he screwed up, without erasing himself, and his brother and sister. But he's got to get to the fish under the sea dance, and get things back on track. Let's see. So let me scroll down a little bit more on this one. It's pretty good. So there she is again. Really flat hair. Just very plain looking, plain Jane. There's the cops. Now these cops here are going to be the same cops
Okay.
from the Flash as far as the way they look.
Okay.
Same with this. This is going to be in the Flash as well. This is the new Gotham. This is different from Zack's. This is the new look for the Gotham Police Department. And these, of course, are going to be different actors that you're going to see in the Flash, but the same garb, the same costumes. And I think that one of the reasons why they did that was because it is going to save them money. But yeah, I mean, just first impressions of Barbara Gordon in her GCPD getup. Does this excite you, and how much?
I don't know. I mean, in those pictures, I guess it would just be like, okay, here she is living her day-to-day, her daytime job, regular life.
Yeah.
So that's what I get from that. I think until maybe we see her in a suit.
Yeah, I hope that they do something like that.
Yeah, if some set pictures come out of her in the suit, or if they do a reveal or something like that, I think that's usually what gets like the most exciting.
So they're shutting streets down in Glasgow, and they've got Enterprise rent-a-car over there. So that's awesome. They see a little bit of U.S. Representation. They got Enterprise rent-a-car. It's gonna be dope. I guess you can rent the Batgirl cycle. Do you think she's gonna have her cycle? Oh, here's the thing. Here's the mural. So there's Batman.
There's the mural. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the.
Yeah, that's what I saw
right there, and then Robin, and like his face is like really distorted. They're like, yeah, we don't want to tell who that is.
Yeah, it looks like he got vandalized, or I don't know. Did it get vandalized, or is it just like?
I think it's just old,
or is it just worn?
I think it's just worn. Yes, okay. I think it's just natural wear and tear.
Okay, that's exposed brick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's kind of what that is. But again, a lot of people were like, "Yo, this is just like really."
Copy and paste.
Yeah, it was like really.
They have a picture of her. I saw that too. Black Canary. Yeah.
Black Canary. So she's in it.
I did like her. In Birds of Prey, the thing I didn't like was that they only showed her using her powers one time,
and it exhausted her.
Maybe
like she's done after she uses it once. Somebody's got to carry her off the set. So that's not the Black Canary I know. But yeah, so there it is. They're piecing it together. Delayed. I don't know about that. You got Brendan Fraser in here.
He's gonna be Firefly.
Well, I think he's going to be the father of the new Firefly. Okay.
That makes more sense. I was a little confused about why
Batman or Ben Affleck's Batman, or somebody's Batman. And he's going to be, and his daughter, I think, is the one that's going to be the new Firefly.
Okay, so that makes sense because I was a little confused by that. Okay,
let's see. There's the Batman '89 books, and like I said, I think Ben could really do a lot by selling his story. They've got there you go, World's Finest, World's Finest right here. But yeah, so you got that, and basically, yeah, I mean, these are going to replace your Superman and Batman going forward. You're not really going to have. I think Michael Keaton's going to pop in and out because Bob Saget, just passed away, and he was 65, same age as J.K. Simmons here.
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton's older than that. He's 70, so that's quite a difference. Let's see. But yeah, no, I mean, this page here, here she is. There's the photo. Yay!
Yeah.
What's up? Like, oh, kissy. And then I think that's cotton candy, which I didn't know. Cotton candy is just sugar and powdered sugar mixed. I didn't know that. I thought there was more ingredients.
That's why it just melts. As soon as you put it in your mouth, it just is gone.
It just dissolves. Yeah, that's awesome. Never knew that. So is this her bike? Are they building her bike?
I
You
mean, I would
think?
hope she'd have some kind of cool. I mean, she has to have a cool like vehicle
Do you
to
think it's
be.
do you think it's
So
gonna be
hopefully,
do you think it's gonna be like hold on. Oh,
and
and
I
then
do think it'd
happy
be. I mean,
birthday. I don't think this is the appropriate photo. You would be like, hey, this is Batgirl right here. Mm-hmm.
well,
And
I mean, it's
there's
gonna
Ben
happen,
Affleck bowing
especially with
out.
female characters.
Yeah.
Um, it would be cool if they do some kind of unique vehicle for her. You know,
Yeah.
something different from Batman or whatever. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
there
just
it
feel like
is.
there's not enough.
I'm done.
Yeah, I just wanted to see her use her powers more.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been cool.
She's like the only one in the movie
Well,
that had something cool to show with, as
yeah,
far
I
as like
mean,
powers.
to be
So
honest with you, Huntress had a better story or a more interesting story, but they just like glossed over it.
yeah,
And then her outfit, her costume, whatever was ridiculous. It
yeah,
was pathetic. I was like, no, I'm sorry, dude. For me, I always okay. So this right here,
yeah.
um,
I remember that one. Yeah,
this really like tripped me out because we're sitting there talking. We're like, yeah. He's like, oh, the real Batman's gonna show up. I'm like, wait a minute.
mm-hmm.
If he's gonna be in the Flash, which is before this, and he's said he's not gonna be in anything beyond. Why is this director saying this is the real Batman? I mean, he can't be that far removed or unaware that that's not Keaton's cowl. So I'm like, dude, are you misrepresenting yourself, man? Is that what's going on here? That's kind of sucks. Let me jump back to the comments.
I think
real
that
quick.
all got people pretty. I mean, that was when that dropped. That was a pretty big topic of discussion.
Yeah, we're like, yo. I mean, yeah, us, we as fans of the property,
Plus, we knew
fans
that
of this
J.K.
iteration.
Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, knowing that J.K. Simmons Gordon was going to be in it, you automatically assume, oh, if they're
I
there has
thought
to
it
be
was
a
cool. I was like,
Batman.
you know what? I wouldn't even mind it if this dude showed back up in Batgirl and like, she sees him
Just to show
riding around like
it's
that
Ben's.
Batman
Yeah.
exists, but he's not going to communicate with this, low-ranking Batgirl. She's got to earn her stripes or whatever. So that's what I say,
Yeah.
real Batgirl fan.
And I mean, I don't know, the whole going back to Michael Keaton, they're really, I mean, okay, putting that mural, that's his Batman. So I don't understand.
I mean, that was a Batman that was just sort of a rando Batman.
Well,
it just had a yellow chest.
To me.
He
looks like Michael Keaton's Batman to me because of the suit looks similar to me.
Sure.
And
There's old man Batman right there.
If he's going to be in the movie, then I feel like that's his Batman in the mural.
I think it's just a representation of what that Batman would be.
Okay.
But from the eyes of the artist, because hopefully they've never seen him. So they're just sort of like, from the different glances and things like that you've had. So this is going to be Batman. You're going to see this version, this old man Batman.
Well, I mean, like not his, like obviously they wouldn't know who. Well, they don't know who he is.
They don't know who
Batman is. But like his suit looks like that.
But they're like, yeah. I mean, it's got the oh crap. It's got the yellow, dial on it or whatever. And the reason why it has the yellow is because that's the only thing they could trademark. So because people were making money off of the bat logos or whatever. So they were like, yo, I mean, we can trademark Superman. Well, we can't trademark a bat. So they made it a circle medallion or whatever, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna trademark this. So that's why they did that for the comics, for so long, because that was something that they could own.
It's not a unique symbol. Yeah.
Let me go back to this. Need trailer. Yeah, I need something. I need something to go off of because right now we have nothing.
Right.
Let me see. The Batgirl movie is gone. Going to be very confusing. It's going to be very confusing. Just me, or does it look like Ward Robin? Yeah. On the mural, it does. It has the yellow cape, which I'm like, that doesn't translate. The yellow cape itself doesn't translate to any live action. I'm just like, it doesn't. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, this yellow bat symbol right here doesn't really translate. It's a target. If I got a gun, I'm going to shoot the target. You
Like
know?
I could understand why Ben's Batman is it's flat, well, not flat, but it's like
Yeah.
the bat symbol is not immediately visible on
Right,
his
right, right.
suit. And it doesn't
And
it's
it's
not like
huge.
it doesn't
Yeah.
stand out like that. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it goes all the way across and his suit is amazing. But it's not like that where it like immediately stands out. It's just kind of
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I
fluid.
wish we could see more of him.
Yeah.
I
Beautiful
honestly
suit.
think that Batfleck's on the mural from his earlier days as Batman wearing a different suit, similar to Keaton's before Robin got killed by the Joker. Now, I'd have to disagree
A
because
little bit of a
Batfleck is
stretch.
not going to be in the Batgirl movie at all. So it's not an earlier representation of that. Um, it's just I don't think it's Keaton's Batman. I don't think it's Batfleck's Batman. I just think it's an artist's rendition of Batman, sort of a tribute or whatever. And I'm hoping that it's a glance. I'm hoping that we don't really get to see it. It's just like, oh, somebody's gonna have to pause
It's
that.
an Easter egg.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
Easter egg. If they really highlight that and like shoot this scene with Leslie Gray standing in front of it, that's gonna be stupid.
I wouldn't be surprised though if they do something like that. If it is supposed to represent Keaton's Batman, I won't be surprised if they do something like that.
I'll check that out in a minute, Trevor. The directors have been stringing us along for a while. Yeah, they have. But the thing is, the reason why they're stringing us along is because of confidence. They don't have enough confidence in their product to release anything. Like they're releasing this. This is confidence right here, in my opinion. Even though it does show all of his wrinkles and sags, on his face and all that, it still shows a little bit of confidence. Like, yo, this is what he's going to look like in the cowl now at 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is what you can expect. It's not a young. They're not de-aging him. He is going to be this. You've seen the wig that they gave him on the in the Flash. So it's going to be that same old Batman. It's old man Batman. Let's see. Some dude says, I really hope that Discovery is smart enough to look at all this and think, okay, let's give the fans everything they want, different universes and their different stories, including Zack Snyder's Justice League sequels. That would be an ideal world, but that's we haven't seen anything that demonstrates that.
We don't know yet. I feel like it's going to take, if anything ends up continuing within the Snyderverse, it's going to take a long time. Okay. And then I think one of the sad things too about pushing out, Superman is that Henry Cavill, especially recently, has made it obvious.
He's made it perfectly
clear. I'm ready and willing. I'm waiting on the phone calls. It's like Ben Affleck is kind of like, I'm kind of done with this. If the Flash is my last,
the exact opposite from Henry.
Yeah. If the Flash is my last appearance, if the Flash is my last appearance as Batman, I'm happy with what I did. And that's kind of comforting, I think, to us as the fans, compared to what happened with Justice League. Obviously, all it took was a phone call from Zack for Ben to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it for you.
Right. Because Zack sold Ben on a narrative, and he was like, yo, filmmaker to filmmaker, I'm going to come and help you out.
Right.
And he probably did it for free.
I wouldn't be surprised. And just knowing everything that happened and what they did to his movie and how they had everyone lie and all of that deceitful stuff. I mean, yeah, all it took was a phone call from Zack.
Deception.
Especially the mistreatment that, that he received from the studio. So it's like, and selling it as Zack's movie, and this is we're just continuing with what he wanted.
Yeah,
and all that.
I mean, the narrative being spun was just so false.
Yeah, and that's why people are like, oh, the fans, this and that, just hate WB and want to cry about everything. It's like, no, they completely just sold a lie.
Yeah.
And had the fans feeling like they could, so that's why no one trusts anything that they have to do anymore. Especially, Ben said himself, I hope they keep the integrity of what we did, because some of my favorite scenes as Batman are in The Flash.
Yeah. And so I think that's the only thing that he's really worried about.
Yeah.
Is the editing of the film. Like they could, like he doesn't want what happened. And this is what he was saying. I don't want what happened with Joss Whedon to
To
happen
happening.
to
Yes.
Andy Muschietti.
Yes.
You know,
Obviously, they brought in another director on the Justice League, which was different, but they could still end up. But just because they're not they didn't bring in another director for the Flash, doesn't mean that they can't alter or change what they
well,
actually filmed.
tone can like when you're in the
Yep.
editing bay, and you know, you can change the flow
Yeah.
of a conversation just with editing alone.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, he signed on to do X, Y, and Z. He told them this was like back in two summers ago when they had their fandom, the first fandom, and he was like, "Yo, I'm making adjustments to the script." And so you know, he wanted to add his bits, and of course, you know, Warner Brothers wanted to do that as well. Okay. Uh, but yeah, I mean, you know, they want him back. You know, they want to keep him not as Batman, but they want to keep him as a director. You know, they want to
Yeah.
keep him, you know, as a contributing, you know, member of their quote unquote, you know,
Mhm.
family or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as we close out, I do want to get your final thoughts on everything that you've seen here. And yeah, guys, if you haven't, jump over to Batgirl Film News and go ahead and leave them a follow. And the same thing with their sister site, I guess. I think it's Flash Film News. Um,
Yeah, I follow them too.
good people, and they're doing a good job. I razz them every now and again just for fun. And yeah, they're pretty they're going to be the ones to sort of being sort of stay on top of these things. You'll have
Yeah.
official releases from, you know, from of course Warner Brothers or whatever, but these guys here, they're doing a great job. It's fantastic, and I like what they're doing. So they've got some people over there in England that are helping them out, and that's awesome. So yeah, let me take this away. Boop. And let me get your final thoughts. Like, what do you think about Chris O'Donnell making an appearance? Do you think that he exists in this new timeline? Alicia Silverstone, do you think that her Barbara whatever exists? You know, she might not be Batgirl anymore or whatever, but do you think she exists in this universe, or do you think they're just going to trash those characters and say, hey, we're doing our own thing?
I'd be kind of surprised, I think, if those characters, I don't know, bringing in from, I feel like the Nolan universe is always going to kind of be on its own, like standalone, which I guess Chris Nolan, that was his intent, was that he didn't want Superman and like these other heroes
Right.
existing in his universe. It was just, focused on this is Batman.
This
So I
is right.
think, yeah, I know he didn't want to do that. And obviously when they did Man of Steel, he brought in Zach for that.
Mhm.
So I don't think we'll ever really get. I mean, I think you might see Easter eggs pop up here and there that kind of pay homage or tribute to other universes and stuff like that we've had in the past or whatever. But I'd be kind of surprised if they make it obvious, like, oh, this person besides Keaton, oh, this person exists too, and this person. I don't really see that happening. I don't think. I think they're just going to. I think the whole Keaton thing is purely nostalgic, and that they are just worried because they don't know what to do moving forward if Ben Affleck is not going to be Batman anymore.
Mhm.
Like I said, I do think that there's a possibility if it's the right circumstances.
Mhm.
I mean, I know there's been so much about, the Flash and all of that, but there's been a couple of things that have given me a little bit of like optimism.
Okay.
And that is that Ben Affleck agreed to do that movie and that Ray Fisher was going to do it before all of that happened.
Well, they had
So
multiple scripts, and
yeah,
they
yeah,
had, he was written in and he was written out.
right. So the fact that they were kind of on board with what Andy Muschietti is doing with the movie or where he saw that going, that has given me a little bit of comfort as far as like, oh, because people are like, oh, it's just going to completely erase Zach's universe. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch. I don't think that is completely going to happen. I know we're talking about Batgirl, but I feel like they're kind of
Sure. Yeah.
connected
No.
because
No.
of Batman and everything.
Right.
So, and Michael Keaton and bringing in these new characters. So, I don't know. As far as Batgirl, though, I just think it's going to be a little confusing as far as Michael Keaton's Batman being in it, and then
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons, Gordon, and I just don't see how that's going to. I don't know. We need to know more about it, I guess, to see how they're doing that. But
Sure.
right now, it's kind of confusing. I don't have any like I said before. I don't really have any like super negative or super positive. I don't really. I'm just kind of in the middle. I'm neutral about it right now, as far as how it's
Neutral.
going to be. Yeah. I'm not like, oh, I don't care about it. And I'm not like, oh, I can't wait. It's not.
Yeah. Like when they first mentioned Batgirl, all those years, like right after Justice League, they were like, yeah, we're going to do a Batgirl movie that was going to be Joss Whedon and all this other stuff or whatever. You know, this is before we saw the movie. We,
I
I
also
was
think that was
excited.
a
I was like,
lie.
yeah,
But
okay, great. You know,
I don't think
we're going to
I
get,
don't think they were going to do that.
I think they were throwing things out. Same thing with the Nightwing movie for Chris McKay. That.
See, he like if you followed him on Twitter, his thing was all about Nightwing. Like he was excited about that
Yeah.
movie. He was all for it. The Batgirl, I don't know. After what happened with Justice League, it kind of made me feel like I felt like
I
they
think I
were
was
kind
going
of
to put
just
out there like,
using that.
hey, that's
Yeah.
Joss likes women.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like they were using it as like, oh, hey, he was
Yeah.
already here, so we kind of just asked him to come over and like help out with just like kind of to sugarcoat why he was really there and to make it seem like he already had another reason for being involved.
Yeah.
I just because after Justice League, and then after he, was nixed from Batgirl, we didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah,
like,
it went dead.
Until now. Like
Yeah.
it was a long time. So I don't know if that was actually. I think that it's probably true that they were thinking about at some point doing a Batgirl movie, but I don't know if
think
Joss Whedon was
Christina
actually
had it.
attached.
She was on her back burner because, like I said, she wrote the Flash, and so she also wrote, the Batgirl. And I think her priority was the Flash. And I think once she got done with that, they were like, "What can we get you on now?" And she's like, "I'll do a Batgirl movie, right?"
Yeah.
And so that okay, well, you've already done Birds of Prey, and that was hugely successful. So, but I want to take some time out, and I know you got your co-host, and we'll have her weigh in a little bit later on when she forms her opinion. So yeah, but I appreciate you coming on, Allie. I know you have to get going, but yeah, I wanted to have somebody on here that could sort of be a counterpoint to me if I got out of line. But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming out, and you have a great night. Where can everyone who's watching find you if they don't already know?
Yes. Okay. On Twitter at SuperHypeDC. My YouTube channel is SuperHype, just how you see it right here. I can never get this. I'm always
Right here.
off. Yeah. So yeah, you can find me there.
Awesome.
Interested. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on the show. And next time you have a live stream,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, it has.
It's been a long time. I've kind of just been like
No.
making videos and posting
Yeah,
them.
working out. I'm like, okay, I don't work out, but I'm down. I draw. That's my other streams.
Sorry, I was
No,
trying
you're
to
good.
mute before I called my son. But yeah, and I've kind of just been, when something interesting comes up, a big topic of discussion, still making videos and stuff like that. So
yeah, so I thought that Batgirl is definitely something that we've seen enough of to sort of speculate. Because that's all we do here on this channel is speculate. We don't have scoops.
No, I don't do that either.
We don't do scoops. But you have a great evening, and I'm going to go ahead and finish answering some of these questions here, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good night. See you next time.
Thanks. All right. Let's see. Let me jump on here, and wow, I thought you could lower yourself. Oh well. Anyway, so let me jump in here and address some of these. I'm not saying Batfleck himself is in the movie, but a pick from the past. It just depends on what universe Batgirl is in. And I think after the Flash, she's in this new weird multiverse universe thing or whatever that they've created. Let's see. And this was don't you remember Batgirl was going to appear in the Batman solo movie? Yes. Where he and Batgirl were going to fight Deathstroke. Yes, and that would have been great to see Joe Manganiello come in, do his thing, whoop some ass. But unfortunately, we're not going to see that. So we got what we got. Some dude says what Allie just said. Yes, she said she has some really good points. Ben saying, I hope they keep the integrity of the film. That is so concerning, as it shows how far Warner Brothers has fallen. It just shows his what it actually, sort of shows is just, his, past dealings with them. He just doesn't want to see that, come out again, where they step in and change things around because they think they're right. And they really don't know what they're doing. Warner Brothers wanted Ben Affleck and Cavill to act jokey and cheesy in future movies without Zach. And they both didn't want to do that with the characters that they're playing. I'm sure. I know that Henry wanted a different interpretation. He wanted a lighter mood. He wanted a different, interpretation of Cal to be, shown on screen because he wasn't sure that Zach was ever going to get a shot to do it again. I think that both Ben and Henry would come back if, like Ali said, if everything was correct, if all the chips fell in the right slots and everything was perfect, and Zach got everything he wanted and wasn't messed with or whatever, I think that they would come back and at least do one more film and probably make it another epic 4-hour long, movie for the people who want to see it. Not everybody needs to see it. I understand that there are people who are not Zack Snyder movie fans or don't like his interpretation of the characters. Well, then that movie isn't for you. You have this other universe. You can watch Superdog. You can watch Bat Wheels. All that to your heart's content. I see. Droga says I did draw Batman and Batgirl in Super. Yes, we did see that. Very good. Yeah, check out his Twitter. It's on there. But that's not the universe that we're going to get. And like I said, I put these out today on Twitter, where they are taking two characters to replace the one. And the same thing here, they're taking two characters to replace the one. And that just shows you the gravity that these characters, Ben and Henry's respective roles, really have, on these franchises, because it takes two to replace the one. The one is so important that you need to distract your audience with two different characters to sort of make up for it. And it still kind of doesn't make up for it. Let's see. It says Henry wanted a lighter take on Superman. He did because he knew where Zach was eventually going to lead him. And he was like, well, if Zach's not going to be there, let's just go ahead and make that lighter version. Let's go and make the version that everybody is familiar with. But he didn't get that shot. He got sidelined. So support Henry with The Witcher. It's a good show. And anything else he does. He's a good actor. Fantastic in that movie. What was it with Jim Caviezel? It wasn't Man La Mancha. What was it? Crap. I don't know. It's a good movie. But anyway, he was a teenager when he did that one. That's why Henry and Warner Brothers aren't seeing eye to eye with Superman. Same with Ben Affleck. Well, Ben Affleck sees eye to eye with Warner Brothers. He just doesn't want to be in league with Warner Brothers doing Batman stuff because he wasn't supposed to be doing Batman stuff for movies on end. He signed on to do a couple things and he wanted to sort of like give his take on his favorite superhero character and leave, but he didn't get to do that. So unfortunate. Superdog and Bat Wheels. That's right. See, I strongly believe Ben will come back if Zach gets to do what he wants. Nothing is ever set in stone. People can change their minds. And I agree with you. I agree that, Zach would be the one to bring him back to that role. Not, we all know that, of course, Ben is going to do more probably for Warner Brothers or with Warner Brothers on different projects and things like that, not Batman related. But yeah, I mean, I think that he would come back, and I think that they would probably come back and do one more film, just to, because everybody's getting older, and they would want to get that done a done stamp on that released, and at least finish the story. And 4 hours is plenty of time to tell a really good cohesive story like that. So I mean, think of it, 2 2-hour movies or whatever. I mean, yes, Zach does take a lot longer to tell stories because they have so much depth. They have so much character development, and they have a huge ensemble cast. So it does take a little bit longer for these movies to play out. Zack Snyder, Bruce Timm, and Greg Weisman, DC Best. I would not say about Bruce Timm. I would change Bruce Timm with Sam Register. I believe more in Sam Register than I do Bruce Timm. Hashtag bring Jack Nicholson back. Oh man, hashtag let's get nuts. Q, what's up, man? It's good to see you, and thank you for making me smile at the end. I appreciate that. Again, man, if for everybody who's just now joining us, thank you so much. We did go over, will the Batman movie fail? I don't know. Will it? Who knows? I mean, we have less than a year to find out if the Flash film is going to fail, which I'll come back and do I'll do a thing on that. I'm with stupid and I'm with stupid. So we will see how these guys are going to be portrayed in the film, what they're going to do, and we have some pretty interesting conversations about that with a couple of panelists that couldn't make it because they were sick. So get better, Nicotina, and get better, Neil. You guys are both sick, and I'm just now trying to come out of my sickness. Anyway, so guys, if you can, I'll there's a couple more questions. I've seen a couple of them here. But if you can, leave a comment down below. That definitely helps out the algorithm and lets everybody know, hey, there was a video that played. Because if not, nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to watch it. So if you could just leave something like yo or hey, what's up or whatever, I'd appreciate that. And hell, do it on multiple videos of mine. That would be very much appreciated. More appreciated than any other thing. As you can tell, I don't do super chats on this channel. But I do implore you to go check out my Teespring and TeePublic stuff if you want to wear your own garb. That's awesome. I love seeing that people wear this stuff out because you know what, we're DC fans at the end of the day. I'm saying that that at the time Ben was going to make his movie, but left because Warner Brothers wanted to change the tone direction, which Affleck wanted to do and decided to leave. Well, right, exactly. What happened was he wrote his story, and they were like, "Yo, no, this isn't what we wanted." And so instead of him compromising, he was just like, "Yo, I'm done." And that's the reason why I said I couldn't crack the story, or I couldn't crack the script, or couldn't, because he couldn't appease the Warner Brothers executives to go ahead and greenlight his movie. And so he's like, "Yo," at the advice of Matt Damon, he was like, "Yo, I'm done. I don't need to deal with this. I'm Ben Affleck. I can do other things. Let me go do those other things." And he's doing it. Let me see. Oh god, Jack Nicholson and Margot Robbie. Ugh. Let's see. What do you think about replacing Hamada with Deborah Snyder as head of DC Films? I don't know. I mean, she's a good producer. I don't know if she's equipped for or handling, DC Films properties. I'm not sure. Not sure if she'd even want to do that. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, if she's, if she can fill the boots, if she can, work that job and she wants to, she has a passion for it, then awesome. If not, then you're going to get some mediocre stuff. It won't be great. It won't be horrible. It'll just be kind of meh. I don't think that these guys, the Snyders or anybody, needs to be handcuffed or shackled to a property for the rest of their career. I think that, when they decide to sort of, when they're in their twilight years of their business, or, their dealings with studios or whatever, if they secure a position like that, like, Kevin Feige or Kathleen Kennedy or whatever, and they want to live out the rest of their, career doing X, Y, and Z, sure, go ahead. But I wouldn't be against it, but I wouldn't lobby for it. I'd be like, if you want to do it, cool. If not, cool. I don't think that Walter is going to give us or has been giving us anything that is noteworthy so far. And so, yeah, I think that he needs to be shifted over somewhere else. Maybe they can take him over to Warner Brothers Alaska. I don't know. Didn't want to do. Right. No, I know what you meant. Let's see. Barry Keoghan as Joker. Are you talking about the that one actor from that they're talking about being the Joker in the Batman movie? Whether he's in it or he isn't in it, I don't know about that. Let's see. Yeah, Cygnus. No, it's not Film Gob. It is a fan of Film Gob. I know Film Gob. But yeah, no, I appreciate you being here. It's awesome. Film Goblin. But yeah, the guy from Eternals. Yes, the guy from Eternals. He looks weird. And the manipulations that I've seen on Twitter, I guess, they don't really make it look like a dope Joker. It looks kind of like I don't know. It just looks like a child. The guy looks like a child. I'm not down with that. Well, Civil War comics was goated by, but the ending sucked in my opinion. Didn't make any sense. I mean, that's because it was sort of half-assed. They just kind of like came in there, changed their story, and wanted to get that out there before BVS. Ship him off to Alaska and mail him his clothes. That's right. Let's see. If the Batgirl goes into a Nightwing movie, that's awesome. They could have gotten a Nightwing movie a long time ago, right? But Zack Snyder killed Dick Grayson, so Chris McCade couldn't make his movie. It didn't mean that he couldn't make his movie. He could definitely make a Dick Grayson movie. It just wouldn't connect to that universe. So the thing about it is, Dick Grayson is one of my favorite characters, but I don't mind that Zack killed him because it doesn't make sense to an average viewer, a general audience member, that it was Jason Todd that got killed. That's Jason Todd's outfit. The majority of people only know, like Burt Ward, Chris O'Donnell, whatever, they know about Dick Grayson. They don't really know about, you're just now finding out. They're just now sort of teaching mainstream audience in the Titans show and also in the Under the Red Hood animated movie that not everyone has seen, but it's very good. It's very popular. They're just now sort of like letting people know about that. Like, yo, hey, outside of comics, this is who Jason Todd is. And so for him to be Jason Todd in the DC cinematic universe or whatever, they would have had to have gone into a lot more exposition and it just, I'm fine with it not being. And I think that Dick Grayson dying makes it a lot more difficult, a lot harder on Bruce, because he sees a lot of himself in Grayson, and that's sort of like his son. So for him to lose his son, that would definitely send him into a downward spiral. He lost his parents, and then he lost somebody that he loved and trained. And Jason really doesn't have that same impact, or wouldn't have that same impact on Bruce. So I'm fine with it. I get it. It was Zack's story was supposed to be condensed. It wasn't supposed to open up and open up for like Batman to never die, or all these other things. It was supposed to come to a finality, or a final whatever story arc complete, and then they could reboot again if they wanted, because that's kind of what these studios would do. They would just reboot, wait a couple years, reboot. I think that my grandkids are going to have a really good Justice League, because it's going to take a while for them to actually go back and actually make a cohesive universe on DC films. I think it's going to take a long time. I think what they're trying to do is make the best of the garbage that they have right now, and it's a mess. It's a mess. Don't you see my profile pic? Yes, Gio. Yes. Got you. I honestly think that Jason Todd, who died since wait. Honestly, it's still Jason Todd who died, since they never actually said who was the dead Robin is. Well, he was actually supposed to go into more exposition. He was going to make that more concrete in the second film, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. He was supposed to, I think, have some interaction with Barry, because Barry had also lost somebody, so they had that sort of connective tissue. And the same thing with Cyborg. They also have that connective tissue of losing somebody. So I think it just would have been very impactful, and it was very uh, Dick Grayson's death really had a lot of gravity to it, even though Zach says otherwise. Um, I see. I understand that. I just don't agree with the decision. I feel like Jason Todd would have been the same impact. Not really meaning people like Jason Todd, but people love Dick Grayson. Like, look how upset a lot of people got finding out that it was Grayson that died. That's your impact right there. Finding out that it was Jason, meh. Finding out that it was Grayson, what? Yeah, it's a different impact. It really does hit home. Let's see. I love BVS and still think we should have gotten a Man of Steel 2 or a solo Batman movie before rushing into it. That's Warner Brothers' problem. That's Warner Brothers' problem. They should have taken it slow. They should have given us something else. They should have waited on Doomsday and all that. They rushed, and that wasn't any fault of Zach's. That was because they wanted to kill Superman and set up the team and do all that. And how do you do that? Well, you bring in Doomsday. Oh, we don't have Doomsday because he didn't set that up, because he started off in Man of Steel but wasn't able to elaborate on that. And you've got all these other things going on in BVS. So let's just take Zod's dead body and reanimate it and make that Doomsday. So it the quality suffered because they were trying to get it out there. But okay, guys, I am losing my voice. Excuse me. So I appreciate you guys. Hey, what's up, Truth? Hey, check out Truth's channel. Hey, shout out to Truth, man. That was awesome. I saw what you did there. We're doing hashtag shoot. Sorry, I ran out of drink too. We're doing hashtag Project Justice League. It's a great project. A lot of people didn't get to see the what do you call it? The storyboard images that were on display in Dallas. A lot of people have seen them online, but a lot of people didn't get to see, sort of everything that was there. So what we're kind of doing is giving you that in a different form, and we hope that everybody likes it. So yeah, it's awesome. Let's see. Film Goblin says, I think Zach was originally wanted to make the JL trilogy and not MOS and BBS before a 5-movie arc. I don't know if he wanted to make a trilogy. I don't even know if he really wanted to come back and make a sequel. He was just sort of toying with ideas and things like that. And they were like, yeah, this is great. Let's do it. I don't know if he wanted to come back and do another one. But if he did, what would have been better is to bring in Brainiac. And because, I mean, there's so many things that he set up in that Man of Steel film. It would have been dope to have him flesh that out. Let's see. Anthony Ayos, trash, man. What's up, bro? Let's see. Yeah, Omicron. No, I don't have Omicron. I have Unicron, which is deadlier. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. Everybody sees this sickness or whatever as this or that or whatever, but you don't see a whole mass. You don't see mass graves. You don't see it. Dead homeless people under the bridge because of this. You don't see all that. It's just a cold. That's it. Mild case of the flu. But anyway, let's see. I think what is sorry, I have a little bit of dyslexia. I think what I mean is that the same emotional impact toward Bruce, because in the comics, the death of the family almost killed the Joker. Yeah, no, I get that in the comics. I understand where you're coming from in the comics, but I think that if you were to put Dick Grayson and Jason Todd on a scale of who means the most to Bruce, Grayson's going to tip the scale every time. Every time. Yeah, hell, even put in Dick Grayson, Tim Drake. Grayson's going to win every time. I mean, hell, what would be very difficult for Bruce would be Damian Wayne or Dick Grayson. That would be very difficult. Those two are the most treasured or the most beloved by Bruce. Let's see. Warner Brothers kind of made him do those movies just so they could, make it cinematic trilogy. Well, they were trying to just kickstart that cinematic universe. And so, I mean, I'm sure that what he was doing, he was enjoying, because for Man of Steel, he sort of got to flesh out, this whole world he got to do the Themyscirian stuff. He got to do the Atlantean stuff. He got to do Krypton and Man of Steel. He got to do, I mean, just all these different worlds, and also Apocalypse. I mean, he was world building, and they've destroyed his world, and that sucks. It sucks. And that's pathetic. And oh well, hey, we are where we're at. We're at where we're at, and can't change the past. I remember seeing an interview with Zach from 2012 where he said he wanted to do Nolan style trilogy with Superman, has no plans for a Justice League. Right. He had no plans for a Justice League film. That is correct. I've seen that interview as well. He was just I think he was like sitting on a stage just casually. It wasn't really, it was sort of a mock interview. Are you voicing a character in the motion comic? Well, it's not actually a motion comic, but no, I'm not. I'm not voicing anyone. That's awesome. No, we have a great, we have talented people in the cast, and I can't wait for everybody to see and hear this thing. It's awesome. But a lot of cool people that I know are in the movie, or in the project. We'll say it's not a movie. Do you think that Discovery will restore the whole Snyderverse? What do you think they are going to do? They're going to greenlight. Okay, I think that before Zaslav and crew are able to take over, I think they're going to go on massive green lights like Blue Beetle, and they're going to and the Batgirl and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to fast track it, because what they want to do is they want to muddy the waters, and they want to just have their universe. Because if you have your name attached to so many different properties and it's legally binding, it's really hard for you to untether these people from these different from reaping benefits of different things that have been put through the ringer, put through the process. Zack Snyder's Justice League. The only way that this would ever come out or happen is if it's not going to be a Warner Brothers Pictures movie. It would have to be under a different umbrella. It would have to be released, probably in theaters maybe, but by HBO Max, distributed by Warner Brothers, same as they did with the Zack Snyder Justice League, because they want to make their money, even though they don't support it, they want to make their money. But the only way that they will ever get the Snyderverse restored is just making the one-off or two-off films. That's it. It's not going to impact the rest of the universe. It's not going to change what they're doing in The Flash. It's not going to change what they're doing in Batgirl. It's not going to change what they're doing in Blue Beetle. It's not going to change their plans for Black Adam and Shazam. Those are not going to be impacted. They're not making another Flash film to reset again. So if Zack gets to come back and do something else and restore his Snyderverse, it's not going to impact the rest of the universe. It's only going to impact the rest of his story, because he'll be able to tell it. So let me see. I like Batman and Robin as a kid growing up. Oh yeah, me too. Loved it. My idea for Affleck film would be Deathstroke actually kill Alfred and introduce a different version of Barbara Gordon. I don't think he's going to come back and do his film. I don't think he's going to do that. I think what they probably did was they let Matt Reeves cherry pick some of the awesome ideas that he had in there, and use those in the Batman. And I think that's sort of what he did. Let's see. Do you believe Grace Randolph's rumor that Cavill was the main actor who sided up with Whedon during the reshoots, and that's why he keeps sitting on the fence regarding Superman? No, I think that Henry is going to do what your typical actor is going to do. He's just going to kind of like, what's her name? Patty Jenkins. She was like, oh yeah, I'm down with this. I'm down with that. I'm down with this. He's just there to make a paycheck. He's just there, to play a part, to play a role, and he's going to do whatever people that are employing him are telling him to do. And that's why, he's sort of on the fence, or cast aside for right now. Let's see. Sorry about that. Let's see. Film Goblin. How come Dodson and Enosh don't talk anymore? I don't know if they don't talk. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. I don't want to put high hopes on the merger. So I won't have a big disappointment. Yeah, I don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, anything can happen. You know, anything can happen, and the pendulum can swing either way. And it goes back to that age old Michael Keaton line: things change. So, doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it won't. But the way things are going, time is not on their side. These guys, I mean, Ben Affleck's 50. I mean, yeah, you know, Keaton's 70, 20-year difference, but they're going to get to a point where they've aged out. And they're going to start looking for another Wonder Woman to replace Gal and another, you know, Aquaman. Because, you know, I mean, all these guys are going to get older eventually. So you're going to have to recast. You know, I hope that they don't sort of get in the same rut that MCU is doing, where like it's like, oh my God, all these people are getting older. Let's cast a younger cast and full of, you know, secondary characters and things like that, because that'll get old fast. Anyway, what archive footage of Superman are they going to use? The bathtub scene. Let's see. Do you think no matter how you feel about Michael Keaton as Batman and the DCEU, do you think they're setting up a Bat family with Nightwing, Batgirl, etc.? I think they're going to. I think that they want to reset Robin, reset Nightwing. I think that that's one of the things that they sort of like. Okay, if you remember the Suicide Squad, where they killed Boomerang and they killed Rick Flag and made sure you saw his death. I think what they're going to do is reiterate that it was Jason Todd. And I think that they're going to, sort of bring back like either Chris O'Donnell or someone else that would play that role. And that would be the Nightwing. And he would be, older gentleman, probably about late 30s, mid 30s, late 30s. And then they might even, bring in a Jason Todd or Tim Drake or whatever. I think that they want to build a Bat family, but I don't think that they're going to do it. I don't think it's going to be great. It's kind of like, I like Titans, but I don't like the Batman from Titans. I think he's old, and it's going to be the same thing with Keaton. He's old, can't do anything. I want a Batman that can do stuff. I want to see the Bat family do something. I don't want to see, Keaton's stunt double do all this stuff. And like, yeah, I believe a 70-year-old Batman was still doing that. Suspension of disbelief is too much in that situation. Let's see, and lead into their own solo movies and finally get a Nightwing movie. I don't care if they just make a Nightwing movie. They don't have to lead it into it. They can just make it. Just make a Nightwing movie. Make him in Bloodhaven, and he's doing his own thing. And it doesn't have to be connected. I'm not worried about connecting the universe. That's a Warner Brothers thing. They don't care about that in MCU. I haven't seen them make videos together anymore. I don't watch out for those videos. So sorry. I don't pay attention to relationships like that I'm not connected with. So there you go. If you want to know, ask them, because I don't know. Red Hood Jason Todd is greater than Nightwing. Oh, you're drinking. You're silly. Let's see, like they used to. Again, you got to go talk to them, not me. I'd rather see a Bat family with Pattinson. I don't know. I'd have to see Pattinson's Batman first to even decide whether I want to see it. What's up, Katsuka? Let's see. Red Hood, Batman Beyond, Cassandra Cain as Batgirl, all better than Bruce Wayne. What? Enough of Bruce Wayne. You're crazy. You're crazy. You're so crazy. I'm still pissed we're probably never going to get. Yeah, his wife was so excited last year. She was excited last year because he got the call or something like that, or to be in the film. I think from the Muschiettis, and this was before another rewrite. And so I'm sure that he was bummed that he wasn't in it. So how just make a Batman Beyond movie? They can. Why not? That's what I thought. That's what a lot of us fans thought, is that the Flash was going to reintroduce Michael Keaton, and then the Michael Keaton universe was going to introduce Terry McGinnis, like he's in a different world and he's messing with Ezra, and then he goes back to that world, and then Ezra goes and tries to find Ben's world or whatever. And then in Michael Keaton's world, he partners up with Terry McGinnis, who happens to be his clone or whatever. And that would have been cool, but that's not what they're doing. Let's see. Let's see. But don't you have a story between? But you don't have to have a story between Batman and Robin. Why he left in introducing Nightwing? You don't really have to. You can sort of tell it in flashbacks, or just in exposition, and just talking. What's up, Cisco? What up? We are, except for me. Excuse me. The thing is Alfred and Batgirl. I think. Well, I mean, hell, if you have a 70-year-old Batman, Alfred's dead. Alfred's dead. Jeremy Irons. That would be weird. That would be weird to see Jeremy and Keaton interact. That'd be weird. Are you serious? Red Hood is more badass design. He has guns, more violent. He's better than Nightwing. No way, dude. I'm sorry. Nightwing could kick his ass. He deals with people with guns all the time, and he's only cool because he has a helmet. He has a helmet. He's wearing a biker outfit. Pretty much. That's it. There's nothing really fantastical about Jason Todd. He's there. I think he's cool. Better than Tim Drake. I'll give you that. Let's see. Here we go. Here we are. Okay, a couple more questions and then I'll close this out. But yeah, here we are. Marcus, without Batman, you would not have Cassandra Cain, Red Hood, Batman Beyond. That's why Batman is the he's more than just a farm animal. He's a vigilante. Let's see. None of these characters would exist without him. Yes, they need him as the standard. And that's why I was like, Batfleck is the standard. And that's why Birds of Prey is such tripe, such crap. Because if Batman's the standard, none of these other characters can hold a candle to that version of Batman. If you wanted to pretend that you were in that universe. Let's see. The Discovery merger needs to happen like tomorrow. So looking forward to it. Yeah, but the thing is that Warner Brothers is more than just DC. They have DC and it's a good property, but they have a lot of properties. They own a lot more. So that's going to be a focal point, but it won't be the main focal point of Discovery. They probably have a lot of things that are on their agenda. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's see. At this point in time, Keaton should have been Batman Beyond suit. Sure, because he's old. How have you been? I've been a little under the weather, but I'm getting better. Just ran out of drink, so my throat is pretty dry. I'm tired of Bruce Wayne having. Well, see, that's the thing that's why I'm not too excited about the Batman movie, because we have so many Batman movies. Batman has been redone, and it's low hanging fruit. Like everybody's gonna go watch the Batman movie because it's Batman. And I'll watch it, but I'm just not excited to see it. I'm just like, okay, I don't care. It is what it is. I mean, I've seen so many. It's like, who cares? Let's see. Then Jim Gordon. Yes, Jim Gordon would be dead. And in fact, I think Pat Hingle is who played Jim Gordon for Keaton's Batman is dead. I think he's deceased. I like Jason Todd. Come on, Nightwing he's dope. He is dope. Let's see. Are you all smoking right now? Just not a super character. No, he's not. They threw him in the Lazarus pit. He got his ass handed to him by the Joker. Grayson never got his ass handed to him by the Joker. So yeah, man, come on. Oh, you're crazy. Nightwing is awesome. I love the Red Hood, but Nightwing is better. And we shall leave it on that. That is I agree with that statement. It's dope. But anyway, guys, check out the rest of my content. Please leave me messages on any of the videos. I will respond to you as soon as I see it, and it just helps me with I guess people seeing it. So thank you so much for coming and giving me questions and things like that. It's awesome. Love it. It's funny. Yes, Warner Brothers Discovery. stuff that dreams are made of. And we'll see. Is it going to be dreams or is it going to be a huge nightmare? So at the end of the day, jury's out. Will the Batgirl fail? I don't know. I don't know. We will find out shortly when we get more footage, more information, all that. But yeah, hey, check out the guys. We'll be here on Thursday on the 4Nerd Network, and check everybody out on the 4Nerd Network. There's something for everyone. It's awesome. And you guys have a great evening, and thanks for coming. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like what you saw, check out our other videos and subscribe for more. Be sure to leave your comments and suggestions down below. Don't forget to check out our TeePublic and Teespring store. And a thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Your support is much appreciated. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. This is ZEEVERFETT signing off.